Welcome to a brand new podcast, and this is the Oracle 19, and my name is Mr. Greatness. Well, this is the last show of the new year, or of the present year, 2023, so want to wish you guys a happy new year, prosperous and positive new year, new beginning. Tune in on New Year's Day. We will have check out the Oracle 19 Weekend News. That's still going to roll along. Actually, the official show was actually the 31st, but that's our weekend news. But our regular Monday to Thursday, today is the last Thursday, I should say, of the 2023. That's basically what I wanted to say. But again, just strive to be the best you can be. Because this year, as you know, as we all could agree, has gone very fast. It seems like as time moves along, it speeds up more and more. You can shop online to our baby shopping mall, which is www.evolutionoflondon.com, where we have a whole wide range of products, and that's men's, kids, ladies' clothes, jewelry, house products. So again, that's evolutionoflondon.com. Also, evolutionoflondon.org, O-R-G. There you'll find custom clothes, digital products, as far as ebooks for personal and business use, and accessories. So that's evolutionoflondon.org. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store, S-T-O-R-E. There you'll find games, DVDs, and more clothes, shipped all throughout North America. So definitely, I need your guys to support that. evolutionoflondon.store. We have different links to other affiliates. www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon, so you can support us that way. And we have a Patreon channel, which we have videos that's not posted on YouTube, digital art, and we do consulting services as well. So that's www.patreon.com/evolutionoflondon. And check us out on rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19 for more content. So definitely support us on that platform. And if you want to put your business on this podcast, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And that's the same email if you want to make a free will offering to our PayPal account. That's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Excuse me. So that's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 100% soy wax, 12-ounce jars from scented to unscented. And the scented candles is from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. So if you want to place an order, you can email the company at royalty9international@gmail.com. And also, you can check them out on social media, Instagram as well as TikTok, Royalty 9 International. And they burn over 35 plus hours, very good quality. I definitely have a few myself. So again, Royalty 9 International. I need your guys to check out DJ Panthro. He's an international DJ. So if you want to book him to come to your venue, email him at djpanthro519@gmail.com. That's DJ Panthro, Panthro, 519@gmail.com. And you can find him on YouTube, DJ Panthro 519, Instagram, TikTok, DJ Panthro. And he have a bonus platform on TikTok, The Real DJ Panthro. That's the D-A, The Real DJ Panthro on TikTok. And again, that's DJ Panthro. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book for him to come to your venue, if you want to book for him, for any consulting services, email him, healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. Again, that's healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com if you need any consulting services. Pardon me. And you can support his merchandise, www.wjaaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. We have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, you will see his other social media sites. So like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continue to train on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. Over 670 videos to open up your third eye. So like, subscribe, and share. Pass the information along. That's very important to the Greatness 19 channel. And also Mr. Evolution of London. That's our health and wellness channel. So I need your guys, as we expand more throughout the new year, I need you guys to like, subscribe, and share to Mr. Evolution of London on YouTube. And the music that you are hearing right now is from Strato Beats. Strato Beats. You can find him on YouTube. STRATO Beats. BEATZ. Strato Beats. Check out Cindy's Place. Cindy's Place, she has custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. And you can check out her website, www.cindysplace.org. Again, that's www.cindysplace.org. Now, the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Both of those are on YouTube. Rumble.com, just type in the Oracle 19, and finally www.theoracle19radio.com. Well, as usual, I always give my perspective of different topics. It could be triggering, as you know. If you follow me every week, you know what it is. My new people, again, welcome. It's based on my opinion or perspective and a lot of factual information. You decide, you finish the story. And today we're going to talk about parenting is a lost art. Again, parenting is a lost art. What do I mean? Well, times has changed. Times has changed as we get into the new year, new beginning. You find parents really cannot be parents like yesteryears. We can't really discipline like we want to because the government will already have laws implemented, and they put in the children's brains, and I talk about this on previous shows, but it has to be a level still of respect as parents. We just cannot just settle for for disrespect. We can't be disrespected by our children and still feeding them and clothing them. We cannot be scared of our children that we brought into this world. And a lot of times we are scared because the government threatens to take our children away. They also threaten us by saying they will lock us up. Again, that will affect our money, our livelihood, etc. All in the name of our children. We let our children have sex in the house while we're there, like they pay rent, like they are the owners of the property. We allow, what else? We allow them to smoke, especially if we're not smokers. We allow our children to smoke, drink, party in our house, and we just turn a blind eye. We really do. And it comes to a point that enough is enough. It's a point where we're being disrespected as parents left and right. And it must stop. It has to stop. Sometimes parents, we want to guide our children until it just kills us, literally. And then when we get to a certain age, these demon seeds that you spawned onto this planet Earth, they don't like you. They don't care about you. They don't even bother with you when they get older. And it really has to come to a point that sometimes you have to let them be and walk away. And that's one of the hardest things, because we as parents, collectively, we procreated and had these children. But they have their own lives. And this system, again, implemented things that the parents is not significant. And I say, personally, you got to treat these kids of yours a lot of times like how you deal with people in the streets. And that's real talk. You have to sometimes just straight up chalk them to the game. What do I mean? You have to turn your back on them. Even at a young age. Sometimes you have to go to war, mental war, with your own seed. This is all part of prophecy, if you believe in the scriptures. And I believe personally, me personally, sometimes you have to turn your back and chalk these kids up to the game. Sometimes they are your mortal enemy, and you got to treat them like your mortal enemy. I have no problem with that. You don't want to accept me as a parent? You don't want to respect me as a parent. You don't want to take my advice as a parent. You don't want to contact me as a parent. Damn you. Damn you. You want to disrespect me? Damn you. I turn my back and I never will have to speak to you ever again. You become my enemy. You don't have to ask me for anything. I don't need anything from you. And you know, this is a mentality parents, I think, should take, especially in this day and time. I know a lot of you mothers, this is hard for y'all. And a lot of you fathers as well. The attitude I take is, listen, after I turn my back on you, if I die in life, I don't need you to come to my funeral. Same energy you have given me, and I'm speaking just in the third party, you haven't talked to me and you haven't dealt with me while I was alive. I don't need you to come to my funeral, or I don't need you to socialize with me ever again. I don't need you. You don't need me. I deal with you just like I deal with a person in the streets. And I'm repeating that because you as parents, you need to really get on that level. Because these kids is really mentally killing you. Especially you parents that have teenagers. These kids is mentally destroying you, eating you up inside. You worrying about them, you trying to help them, and they don't want to help themselves. These children want to keep on doing degenerate stuff, and they feel they know everything, and you can't tell them anything. Out to the streets you go. Out to the streets you go. And let the government now serve you. Especially you upper teenagers. Let the government serve you. Since you know everything. And I think you need to send these little bastards out in the streets, you parents, and let them defend their own. Because you only have one life. And you cannot let these children drain you. They already draining you financially. They already disrespecting you. Some of these kids curse you out, threaten you, but yet and still you shelter them. You still give them money. You still take time out to give them advice. Nah, man. If you're not trying to follow my rules and you out here smoking, drinking, fornicating in my house and I'm giving you advice and you're not trying to hear me, nah, man. God, you know what? I treat you just like a person in the streets. I don't know you. I don't need to ask nothing from you. You don't need to ask anything from me. You basically my mortal enemy. Now, I know that sounds real cold and cruel, but that's how you gotta get down. You gotta keep it 100% trill. 100% trill with these modern kids out here. And if these kids get in your face and want to talk all that nonsense, I'm not saying myself. I just say I know people that will punch these kids in their fucking face. And I don't shed a tear off of that. Some of these, you know what? Let's keep it 100. Some of these kids need to be punched in the fucking face. Now I know that's wild. I know that's wild. But some of these kids need it. A lot of these kids need it. They need to be punched in the face. Oh, Mr. Greatness, do you support that? You ain't hear me say anything. You ain't hear me saying anything. Because there's no respect. From the young girls to the young boys, there's no respect. It really isn't. I don't support violence or anything. I'd just rather leave you alone. How about that? I soften it up for you. I soften it up for you. I'd just rather leave you alone. You go your way, I go my way. How about that? Because what I gave you the part one, that sound too violent. And then people thinking I'm all about violence. I'm not all about violence. How about that? I soften up for you to make you feel better. I just rather, how about this? I use the part two. I just leave you alone. Is that better? Is that more compliant? You leave me alone, I leave you alone. Okay. All right. I want, sometimes I gotta soften it up to make y'all feel a little better, because you might think Mr. Greatness is wild and deranged and violent and all this other stuff. So, and that come back to me and say, yo, Mr. Greatness said you gonna punch out kids, and this is why you shouldn't be around children. You go and punch around kids, he probably do that, he probably about that. No, I'm not about that life. No. Actuality, I still say a lot of kids deserve it. But I'm going to use the latter, the number two. I'd rather just turn my back and walk away. So then there's no physical encounters. All right? Good? Got it. Because that's the worst thing. I don't want somebody coming back to me talking that nonsense. He promote violence. He's a violent guy. He do this. You see? He's this. He's that. He's that. He's this. I'll walk away. Walking away is the best thing anyway. Real talk. Walking away is the best thing to do in anything in life. But if you're dealing with unruly and demonic children, chalk them up to the game, walk away, they're on their own, no violence needed, they'll have their own life, you have your own life. Merry Christmas. Season's greetings. Best way. But continuing again in this day and time, parenting is a lost art, because as soon as you even breathe on them, the schools is complaining to you. Schools is knocking on your door. Next door neighbors might knock on your door. Other family members might snitch on you. You got a lot of snitches in the family. Your own spouse might snitch on you. And that's a deceitful one too. When your own, especially women, if you have men, you have a woman that will snitch on you of your parenting. No, we're not talking about doing anything crazy, but you can't yell at them. And we're not even saying using profanity. You just might just say, "Shut up." You can't say "shut up." These words is considered harsh. If you a firm voice saying "be quiet," you can't yell. What can you do? What's the point of having children? Government tells your children at school, you don't do, if your parent do such and such, you got your kids snitching on you. I mean, if your kid is snitching on you, should you still be a parent to these snitches? You got your kids snitching on you. I'm sorry, man. I'm not with that. Snitches can cause stitches. Little humor. It's not even worth it. I can't just be mindful of the people in the streets, be mindful of the police, be mindful of the government, and then I gotta be mindful of my snitch kids, and then I might have to be mindful of the spouse that might snitch. Yo, man, you can't. It's a no-win situation. You can't win. Again, chalk it up to the game and start fresh, and just control, alter, delete the situation, and go find yourself some new kids. Go procreate with some new kids that you can control the situation. Hopefully, I'm a firm believer in that. When you, as parents, it shouldn't be any situation that you can't start new and fresh, even children. If your children that you have, and I know women, this is hard for you to deal with because you nurturers and you know, your emotions kick in, but I'm really directing this for the fathers, especially. Because we men, we usually are less emotional. And when you find, like, especially if you separated from the spouse, from the woman, and you try to co-parent, oh my God. It's like hitting your head. Men, a lot of you men know about this. It's like hitting your head against a brick wall. You know, you got to deal with not only the children snitching on you, but you got to deal with the spouse, the ex, against you. And it's a losing situation for the most part. And a lot of men is doing this all in the name of the child. The child that really doesn't respect you anyway. The child that really despises you currently. The child that really low-key hates you. The one that you sending money, the one that you giving advice. That child, he or she, do not care about you, man. Parenting is a lost art. And you keep battling, you men, especially now I'm getting to the men. You keep battling, trying to parent, try to sift through the nonsense and still deal with your children, still pick up your children, and your children, whether they from, say, 0 to 18, it's just a different situation, but they low-key disrespecting you. You battling them, you trying to coach them, you try to give them advice, you give money, you give support, you give your blood, sweat, and tears, per se, just for the children to turn around and disrespect you. Parenting is a lost art. And you really supposed to keep on doing this for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Now you old? You're not the same man as you used to be? And now these kids as adults living their life? All the money, all the time, all the advice, all the sacrifices you have done behind the scenes, indirectly and directly, just for the children to turn around and basically say F you, or directly say F you. How would it make you feel, parents? All of that, especially you men. that try to sacrifice, try to do things. This is why a lot of men, a lot of fathers, just wash their hands and move on. And you call them deadbeats and degenerates. It's always a reason why. We have a very small percentage of just true deadbeats that really don't give a you know what. But most men out here, human men, want to be parents to their children. But you got to wonder why a lot of men just wash their hands and say, yo, forget it. And then they label it as such and such. You got to wonder why, because they got to go through that. I mean, what sane man, how many sane men out here you have to go through government, which is slash court, which is slash the schools, police, everything in between, the spouses, family members, and everything else in between, and you gotta go through your children that's being coached up by the mother to disrespect you. And you still gotta be a parent? You gotta still coach up these little gremlins out here that's becoming big gremlins that really don't give a you know what about you? Parenting is a lost art, my friends. I say, me personally, wash your hands and walk away. And you learn a lesson in life, because everything has a lesson. And you just, if you're not that old, you can start a new family, a better family, a more strong-minded family. Nothing is guaranteed, sure, but you know since you learn from your errors, you learn from your mistakes from your first family. So you'll say, okay, I'm gonna make sure I do this a different way with the new family. Men do it all the time all throughout the world. Have multiple families. You wash your hands with the first family, second family, whatever, it didn't work out. The beautiful thing is, men, you can still procreate and you can do it right. Meet somebody proper and you can do it right. As long as you keep yourself healthy and strong and keep your money right, you can start off fresh. And leave these children where they at. Leave these little demons where they at. They just came from your loins, and you just have to chalk it up to the game. They got hate for you, or they don't have respect for you. You know, live your life, men. That's how I see it. Especially you going into a new year, new beginning. You don't want to be bombarded with just negativity. It's bad enough you gotta work, you gotta go out here and make it happen. But you don't want to make it happen and then your kids is really despising you and disrespecting you and it's causing you more stress. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. I'm sorry. Now, I know that sounds real messed up, but they're not worth it. You, especially you men, you are worth it. You are worth it. Because, look, when you're old and feeble men, who's going to take care of you? Are you sitting back and really thinking that these kids that you spawn going to really look after you? No. It's what it is. Are you going to, is that a risk? You're going to sit back? You're going to sit back and hope that your children be looking after you in 20, 30 years? You got to hope? Really? You don't even know. You got to hope? You got to hope. No. I'll say this. I'll use my mom as an example because I take care of her now. she don't have to hope and think about it and really come to a conclusion. Say, he might not take care of me. He might not look out for me. No, I'm there for her. Why? Because she showed loyalty for all the years, all the pain and suffering, all the things I had to go through. She was right there by my side. All the everything, every little thing, small and large. She traveled around with me, gave me a sound advice, and was in people's faces when they mess with me. Even as an adult, I didn't look for my mom to jump in people's faces, but she was there 10 toes down. A lot of these mothers don't do this. They do not do this. There's a different type of mothers out here today. So she's number one in terms of loyalty. And I have brothers of mine, brothers I grew up with in BK. One of my homies here, Carlito, 10 toes down. We've been through everything. A lot of different things. 10 toes down. Men like that. Now, I know I'm going off the topic, but I'm bringing it back home. That's what it's all about. Loyalty, trust. And you can't trust these kids out here. These kids out here is a bunch of weirdos. They're a bunch of weirdos out here. And they coming from your loins. Sometimes I just say you have to walk away. Because parenting is a lost art. And you mothers out here, you got a bunch of demon seeds that is in your house. You spawned little Johnny that is always going to be in trouble, always going to get in and out of jail. Or you got a daughter that will be pregnant. She's going to run around like a whore. Even if you're the best mother, you got to look really deep inside yourself, ma'am, and say, this daughter of yours is a whore. No matter if you was a decent woman or striving to be the best you can be. This woman, this young girl of yours is a whore. And you have to make a conscious decision. Are you going to still allow her to be sleeping in your house and eating your food and you putting clothes on her and she's taking the same clothes and stripping it down for her young little male partners that she's rolling in the hay with? And then if you box her in the face a little bit, now everybody want to get on your case. Well, if you have to box her in the face and she didn't learn from that first boxing, then it's time to put her out. Especially if she's a teenager. And if she's playing that role, doing those things and she's 8, 9 years old, then you have to decide, okay, well, you know what? When she hits 13, 14, she got to stay with her aunt or somewhere. Or you got to find her daddy or something. But she can't stay under your roof. Or have to go to a group home or something. But she can't stay under your roof. Because this is not that, she's not the answer. She's going to destroy you. And same thing with your son. Your son in and out of the house, just smoking weed. drinking alcohol, and this is a teenager, not cutting class from school, and you still supporting that son of yours, ma'am, it's time to let him go. Let the streets handle him. And you wash your hands. You have to wash your hands with him. Because respect is everything. He's running you mentally to the ground, ma'am. And a lot of you mothers is just getting destroyed mentally, bit by bit, dealing with these demonic seeds of yours. See, I'm selfish. I'm proud to say that. I'm not saying it's a great trait, but I'm going to look after me, especially when I know you as a child is not respecting me. Once I feel, and it don't have to be, once I feel disrespected, once I feel that you don't care, all bets are off. I deal with you officially just like I deal with dudes and dudettes in the street, and you on your own. You don't have to bother with me, I don't have to bother with you, and we are cool. You don't have to say anything to me. You don't even have to say hello. You see me in the streets, you can walk the other way. You can turn the corner, it's okay. Don't need you to come to my funeral, as I mentioned. It's all right. You don't have to feel guilty about it. I give you all that permission. That's the level that Mr. Greatness is on. That sounds cold as ice. But I can be that. Cold as ice. Because that's how I'm living. Now, if you are a good child, hey, listen, I'm going to treat you like I treat my mom, you know. Anything, she don't have to want for anything. Because I know the sacrifices she have done for me. Loyalty is everything. But these kids is not about that life, my friends. They're not about that life. They're not about that life. Parents, they're not about that. And their philosophies is just as crazy. Bunch of weirdo kids. Willing to sleep with anything and anybody. You can't come to my house, you all, you know, me, I have certain rules and regulations, but your ideologies, these kids' ideologies and philosophies, a bunch of weirdos. Everything goes. They could fornicate with rats, cats, dogs. They could have spouses that, if they're going with, I'm talking about the kids. If a guy was a bisexual, trisexual, you don't mind dealing with him. I mean, again, this new age thinking, look, y'all guys can do whatever y'all want, even children. But that don't mean I have to like it, and that don't mean you are invited in my house. You can't be at my house, you smoking weed and all of that. That's just me, though. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. I'm saying children of mine. Just me. Even adults. Well, you're not going to be smoking weed in my house. It's just not going to happen. You can do it at your house. I mean, it's on you. It's just not in my house. You have all these weird new age thinking. You can take that stuff, you go in the streets, but you can't come to my house with all that new age thinking. I don't want weirdos up in my house like that. That's weird to me. And I know I might have that old thinking in your head. Hey, yeah, to each his own. I guess I do. Because I like simplicity, basic stuff. Man and woman, woman and man, healthy families, heterosexuals. That philosophy, all this cross-dressing, all this, it crosses me up. I get confused. And I don't like being confused. I don't like to have to figure out who you are as a gender. I don't want that. You can have that. I'm not trying to offend anybody. You be wherever you want to be. But you be where you at, not be where I'm at. I don't want you in my house with that type of philosophy. You can stay wherever you be with your philosophy, and we cool. Salute to you. And I think that's how it is. Parenting is a lost art. You can't teach your children about your philosophies, because then society tell you, oh, it's wrong. You wrong for saying it. You shaming. You this and that. This is your opinion, perspective. Aren't you allowed, if you paying your own bills in your house, to dictate how you want your house to be situated? The laws in your house to be implemented? Aren't you allowed to put up your own rules and regulations in your house? That's your house, I thought. I'm not offending anyone in my house, am I? In my house. If it was your house, it's different, but in my house. But parenting is a lost art. And children with this new age thinking, I don't even want these new age thinking kids around me. Not in my house. I have to deal with them out in the streets. That's enough for me, because that's public property. I got to deal with this new age thinking, if you say, on the job. That's on someone else's property. But in my house, my property, I should have my own rules and regulations, I would think. So, you parents out here, y'all have it rough. Me personally, I would never make it rough for me. Not in my house. It's not going to be rough for me. My house, in terms of my philosophies, my laws, my rules and regulations, won't be rough for me, because anybody that don't obey it or don't want to follow it, don't be here. So people will say, well, I guess you will live alone. Well, if it comes down to it, I'm okay with it. I really am. Me personally. Because I accomplished things in my life anyway. So it's not really, I need a whole lot in my life. I'm just solidifying my life, in second half of my life. I'm just solidifying things. I don't really need too much. Maybe get back to a little traveling again or whatever. But, what else? So I don't need that nonsense, what people think in my house, what I have to tolerate in my house. You parents, you the parents, you the law, you the judge, you supposed to be the government of your own house. Nobody should be allowed to come in your house and tell you what you can and cannot do in your own house. As long as you're not abusing anybody, you're not doing anything extra, nothing crazy. You just being a regular citizen that set up rules and regulations. That's what it is. And if you cannot be a parent, then what's the point? You just gotta settle? Man, I'm not put on this earth just to settle. I settle with the Lord. The Lord I have to buckle down to, not man. The scriptures is what I follow. Those are rules and regulations. Those are laws to keep me disciplined. What, I let another man and woman discipline me? I let another man or woman discipline me. Tell me what I cannot do in my house. They saying they greater than the Lord. And they are just men and women. They're not the Lord. They didn't write the Bible. Matter of fact, these people / government is just interpreting. They're man-made law, but they're not interpreting the law of the Most High. So the Most High, the scriptures have gave me the rules and regulations to follow. And I try to follow to the best of my ability to keep my household strong and stern. But when I have to be buckling down to a man or woman, government or not, then that makes me less than a man, and I refuse and I will never submit myself and allow anybody to make me less than who I am. I'd rather die. I'd rather die than allow anyone or anybody buckle me down to make me less than a man. And same thing with you, woman. You shouldn't you shouldn't allow yourself to be less than who you are. You're a woman. Stand strong. So there's rules and regulations that children that is under you, that you guiding, need to follow and obey. Obey. And if these children is arguing with you, they're not obeying. They feel they are just as adult as you. They feel they just as powerful as you. No, you're not as powerful as me. I'm above you. You the child. I was a child once. And even now, I'm still a child to my mother, but there's respect there. But now I'm taking care of her. She's in my house, under my rules. So she's under my authority. But I give her that respect as a mother. But the tides change when you are the authority. And that's how it's supposed to be. But when you have to take care of a child and she's disrespecting you on top of that, he or she is disrespecting you, that child feels they're on the same level as you, the parent. So something needs to give. Either they have to go or you have to go. And I'm assuming you will stay because you're paying the bread. So how long are you going to go through this? How long are you going to allow this, parents? What are you going to do from this point forward? Are you just going to go with the flow? Are you going to allow disrespect with your children? Is your laws that you set up in your house is none and void because they're not listening to you? So you don't matter, parent, mom and dad. That's my question from me to you. And you mothers and fathers of the future, meaning your children is very young, 0 to maybe 5 years old. You have to establish things early. Early. There has to be discipline early. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. What you should do? I ain't going to tell you what you should do because we on social media. And guess what? I don't want nobody coming to me talking or saying Mr. Greatness said this and that, and that can go left. But sometimes you need to take it back to the days, to your grandparent days, your great-grandparent days. And if you don't know, you need to ask your elders. What did they do? What would they do? Now, I know there's certain laws that you have to be careful. But in life, there's always loopholes. There's always loopholes. Believe me, There's always loopholes. I'm not going to tell you how because we have social media and that's something that could get us jammed up. But there's always loopholes that you can do. Kids could travel. You could take your kids to different locations. I just gave you free game with that. There's always loopholes to establish your authority as a parent. I put it like that. If you don't know, you need to figure it out. You better figure out why they still toddlers, because once they reach 9, 10, 11, it'd be very hard for you to establish authority. And you have to do that early. Early. You must establish authority early. Early. And if it's not about abuse, neither. Because people would think, oh, he talking about hitting and stuff like that. Nope. Nope. No hitting. Not even yelling. Not necessarily that neither. There's many ways to establish authority early. But you just have to know, one, type of child you have. Number two, the region where you reside. Number three, everything has loopholes. That's my little clue I'm giving you. Now you're trying to figure out how and why. You got to do some thinking on your own. Remember, you the parent. So once you establish things with your child early, fear and respect always will be there. I leave it as that, but I would just have to say this. Kids have to have a certain fear. They have to know that if they do something, there is an action and reaction. They got to know that. A lot of kids think that there's not going to be no reaction to their action. So this is why they're acting like a bunch of savages. But if they know that you are the type that will react to their actions, they know there might be a penalty that will come after that, guaranteed. Then they will act better. And they need spirituality too. That's lacking. Knowing that respect for the Most High, and there's no kids now don't even believe there's a supreme being. So that takes away a lot of respect anyway. They feel they own goddesses and gods, and that's right there is they off right there. So parenting is a lost art. Parents, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do this forward? Are you gonna be bunch of sheeps? Or are you gonna take back your parenting skills? Or chalk it up to the game? What say you? Blessings to my family that is pulling for me. Stay strong in these streets. Blessings to everybody. Pass the information worldwide. And till we talk again, happy.